Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
Are you stoned or something?
They tried stoning me, my dear. It did not work.
He likes to create his own sauce.
Well, did you sleep with a man who also slept with Mom and Grandma Catherine?
What? You slept with Dad?
All right. Which one of you sardines called this meat?
Whatever, Major Loser.
Let the party begin!
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The one blonde-haired, innocent girl in a city full of horrible people. That's Chad Ekowitz.
And that's Simone Theroux. I mean, I was wondering where the hell you were going with that.
I don't know. Sin City really messed me around a little bit.
Did it just like get in your mind and it's kind of festered there right now and you just kind of don't know what to do with it? I'm just
upset that I haven't met more sex workers with a heart of gold in my life.
The ratio of sex workers with heart of golds to those who don't have heart of golds is way too high. I mean, the only ones that I know of who have a heart of golds are, Jessica Alba in this and Roxanne by The Police that Sting fell in love with. She doesn't have to put on a red light.
She does not need to wear that dress tonight.
She did. I mean, we could do this. We could quote the whole...
We should play the drinking game.
What's the drinking game?
You've never played Roxanne?
No, what's that?
Okay, so basically if you've got a group of friends, you shouldn't play it alone. And there are two teams. The one team drinks every time he says Roxanne, and the other team drinks every time he says turn on the red light.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's a great way to get everyone hammered in 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Why? Who came up with that? What kind of evil human being came up with that?
I'm pretty sure I heard it from Tristan.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense then, actually. He didn't hear it
was
from
one of his house
else.
parties.
Yeah, he made that up himself. There's no question about it. So for those of you who have never listened to this podcast before, we discuss drinking games, non-stops, and then our favorite sex workers throughout popular culture. But in reality, what we actually do is every week we review two movies that did not do well on Rotten Tomatoes, and we say nice things about them because the world is 2020 and we need to bring it back to 2016? Would you say that was the last good year?
Yeah, let me actually explain this episode, how we came to pick these movies. I'm not going to go into the whole story because we don't have time, but basically I currently have very limited internet access, which is why there isn't a video of this recording because my internet will not handle it, and I haven't been able to download or stream movies. So my only salvation through this trying time has been that I found my old hard drive that I used when I was in university. So this is probably 2015, 2016 Simone. It was very sad.
Yeah, it begs a lot of questions, Simone, that these things are on your hard drive.
She was not in a good place emotionally.
Yeah.
And basically I had to find movies on that hard drive that got less than 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it just happened to be these two, which is The Lone Ranger and Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Just the name alone, it just makes me so upset. It's just so upsetting.
Dame, why don't we call ladies dames anymore?
I think we should bring that back. Dame and Broad.
Make Dame great again.
I actually think it'd make oh wait, no, that wouldn't work. I was trying to work it that it would be use Broad instead and it would be ABBA but I wasn't thinking the whole thing through. No. That would have been good.
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun. But yeah, so this week has been really interesting. And to be fair, let's take a positive spin on this and say the fact that you have such good taste and sort of movie prowess that these were the only things on your hard drive that were less than 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm pretty sure there are probably others on there that weren't quite as good, but
Hmm.
like, yeah, for the most part, I deleted all the shit stuff and I kept like, excuse me, the really good stuff.
Yeah, like, so did you find what sort of gems did you find on the hard drive?
Oh man, I mean, we have been going back through memory lane. We watched Euro Trip last night.
Oh my god. Oh my
Deeply
god.
problematic,
Yeah.
but still kind of funny.
It is such a you just picture that movie and it's so much fun.
That
It's
fucking song
great.
is so catchy.
It is, and it's fucking Matt Damon.
It's Matt Damon. We watched. I actually want to talk about it more in the mini-sode, to be
Okay.
honest. Like, then I could talk about what I watched this week.
Oh, it's gonna be so sad. Okay, well, let's move on then. Let's move on because we can bring that out in the mini-sode. So, what are you drinking this week, Simone?
Chad, I am having alcohol. It is home brewed.
Ooh, is this the pineapple beer or is this limoncello?
This is a ginger beer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Rudy and I have gotten pretty handy at making ginger beer.
Mhm.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's very cloudy
Okay.
because we haven't been able to filter like all the yeasts and stuff out.
Mhm.
But it's definitely got a distinctly alcoholic taste. It's probably got some alcohol in it. I'm pretty, and he poured it in a storm.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys have sort of risen to the challenge. This is a really tough time because you can't get alcohol, and you've created 3 different types of alcohol during this time: limoncello,
No,
pineapple beer,
limoncello
and
we got from a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Look, I mean, you got it from somewhere. If you didn't make it, you got it from someone. So that's still impressive that they were willing to give up the alcohol for you. Just goes to show that you're such a good friend.
This was before they announced that no alcohol would be sold during lockdown. With any luck, though, it'll be sold next month.
Oh, sweet Jesus, I hope so. For your sake, I really do hope so.
Oh my God. I want a drink so bad, Chad.
And like, this is not to say you're an alcoholic. For any of our listeners who are really worried about Simone, like, that's not the case. Simone has been through the ringer. She needs alcohol. Like, it's been a rough couple of weeks, just generally, and then specifically for Simone, it's been hecking crazy.
Yeah, it's been a unfun month, and I have not been able to just wind down with a cheeky glass of wine.
Are you going to be one of those doomsday preppers after this is over where you just store like shit tons of wine?
Honestly, like in my head the other day, I was like, okay, how much am I willing to spend on alcohol when I'm allowed to buy it again? Like, what is my budget going to be? And it was high.
Good. That's not a bad thing. Okay, you've been like, I think a good storage of wine would be good for you, and you need to catch up on all the times you couldn't wind down.
Exactly. Yeah. I think my plan is to get like horrifically drunk pretty much immediately, and then like go back to normal after that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like it sort of balances out through its extremes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just need to do some catching up, then, start fresh.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I went back to Brasserie beer, which is that Belgian beer I used to drink a little while ago, purely because it's dead cheap, and they're just like adorable little bottles. And this is the second one that I'm drinking now, so I'm just gonna open it on air.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus, that was a fail and a half. It didn't open fully the first time I tried, and then it spilt everywhere immediately afterwards.
Oh, no, that was unsatisfying.
That is the name of my sex tape, Simone.
Oh.
But it comes in at a cool 4%. I don't know how much yours would come in at.
Probably less than a properly brewed beer.
Right, okay. So should we get Lone Ranger over with then?
Let's get all 2.5 hours of that movie
How
out
is it
the way.
so long? I don't understand.
So long.
Oh, okay. Well, my synopsis is not that long because
Okay, because
like
nothing really happened.
nothing really happens. Exactly. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
Welcome to the Wild West. John Reed, played by Armie Hammer, returns to his hometown in Texas as the new district attorney. He is nervous to return home because his brother, played by James Badge Dale, who is the town sheriff, has married John's childhood sweetheart, Rebecca, played by Ruth Wilson. While riding on the newly built train, John notices that some cowboys are riding up alongside it. See, this train is also carrying Butch Cavendish, played by William Fichtner. Butch is an outlaw responsible for the deaths of hundreds of people. He has been taken to Texas to answer for his crimes and be hanged. Those cowboys are Butch's crew, and they have come to take him off the train. Butch is being held in another train car with another prisoner called Tonto, played by Johnny Depp. Tonto's only crime is being Indian, red Native American. John goes to make sure that Butch is secured, but a scuffle breaks out and Butch rides away safely with his crew. John, being a man of the law, decides to rearrest Tonto and throws him in jail once they arrive back in Texas. Tonto is very pissed off with John because Tonto was about to kill Butch during the scuffle, but because Butch killed Tonto's entire tribe. Once they arrive in Texas, John meets up with his brother and they, with the help of the other rangers, decide to go out and hunt down Butch. Unfortunately, they are betrayed by one of their people and are led into an ambush. John's brother dies as Butch literally rips his heart out. Tonto and John join forces, though for the majority of the film, their relationship is one of reluctance. They still get shit done, though. While on their mission to hunt down and kill Butch, they learn that the Native Americans have attacked the white settlements and thus broken the treaties between the whites and the Native Americans. This will lead to an all-out war. However, John and Tonto realize that it wasn't the Native Americans, but rather Butch's men. The reason they are doing this is purely because if the Americans and the white settlers fight, it is more than likely that the whites will win purely because they have bigger guns, and this will mean that the railway company can go into native territory and take over. They try to tell the guy who runs the railroad company so that they can stop this war, but it turns out that that guy, whose name is Cole, played by Tom Wilkinson, is actually Butch's brother, and he and Butch orchestrated this whole thing in order to steal all the silver from the river basin. In a high-stakes, fast-paced train robbery, John and Tonto are able to defeat Cole and Butch, killing both men and returning all the silver back to the river. John decides that the outlaw life is better for him, seeing as justice has never actually proved positive results in the past, and he now dubs himself the Lone Ranger. The end.
What's your cliffhanger?
It has to be this one, and it's quite literally anything that Johnny Depp says, because I want to talk about this straight away.
Oh boy.
So,
let's do it.
Let's get into it. So, Simone, the best analogy I have for this is that it is his performance as a Native American is more problematic than anything that happened in Zombies 2 in relation to the Native Americans.
You know, yeah. You know, I've got to agree.
Who thought that this would be a good idea?
I am baffled by every decision around this. I'm baffled by like the fact that they were able to find actual Native American actors for every other role in this movie, including a young Tonto. But they were like, no, we'll definitely cast Johnny Depp as one of the more iconic Native American characters in movie history. And then they were like, not only that, but we'll make him really like more of an other by making him slightly insane and Jack Sparrow-y because
because it's Disney.
Oh, Johnny Depp's thing. Like, it's just so wildly unfortunate, and oh man, it is rough.
Yeah, like when I first heard that they were gonna do a Lone Ranger movie, like I wasn't like overly perturbed. Like I don't like Johnny Depp on a normal day, but like I didn't even think of it. It was more like, oh, I just hate Johnny Depp. And then watching it now, and I was just like, holy shit, this is really problematic, and it hurts to watch. It really does hurt to watch. You know, especially given the time. I mean, I'm having a look now, just under interest, and the original Tonto, from what I can tell from the which film was it? It's from the 1956 film. He was Native American. So what they've done is they've taken one of the very few movies that didn't whitewash and then whitewashed it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
and then managed to center the whole story not even really around like it's kind of like, oh yeah, white men exploited Native Americans, but can this guy hook up with his dead brother's wife, or like
yeah, because that is weirdly a big thing in this movie. It's just like,
oh yeah, this white woman's virtue is all we need to worry about.
Yeah, especially she was the damsel in distress. This was what the movie was essentially about, because Cole kept trying to like take her, basically.
Everybody kept trying to. It was very upsetting. Apparently she was the only woman in the West besides all the sex workers.
Yeah, and do you think what happened as well, just thinking about it now, is because they obviously got Johnny Depp and they were like, right, this is Disney, you're Johnny Depp, so you have to do a Jack Sparrow thing. What else is a Disney film with Johnny Depp? Oh, right, of course, Helena Bonham Carter. She has to be in this.
Yeah. To be fair, she was one of the few characters I kind of liked.
She had some good bits, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like, she was super fun. And I loved her leg. That whole scene,
so fun.
Yeah, that whole scene with the captain of the U.S. Army and her leg. That was so funny.
Super great. Like, this movie had like little tiny moments where you're like, okay, like that's pretty fun, and then the rest is just like this somehow really boring, like, and it's all stuff that should be interesting. It's train chases and fights on train, lots of train stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and gun battles and like all, you know, Western stuff that you could want, but you spend the whole time just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think I checked the time on this film, like, to see how far it was, like a good couple of times, and it just wouldn't move along. It was just exhausting. It was like watching a movie through treacle. It was just so hard to power through.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Armie Hammer?
I generally really like Armie Hammer, purely because he's in Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is one of my favorite movies, and he's so good in that. But he was just a very watery character in this. Like, he's like a dude who's like, no, we should worry about the letter of the law and let the law handle this, which is like, boring in an Old West situation.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's kind of useless the whole way through, but then he's not useless, but, like, he keeps struggling to kill the bad guy, and you're like, Jesus, fuck. Just end it.
Yeah, it's really infuriating, and I mean, I love Armie Hammer, like you said. Like, I think this is obviously was his attempt to make it big. I mean, he does such great roles, and they're all very minor roles, and this was obviously his sort of trying to jump into the main light, because for all intents and purposes, like, he's a great actor, he's very handsome.
Oh man,
and
tall.
So tall, and so by that logic, he should be in a position of you know, stardom. Like, he should be an A-lister, but he just keeps choosing bad movies.
Oh man, I think it's gotten better for him now. Like, he's been in a couple of really good movies lately, but this was, I think, do you think he was like in some sort of contractual hell? And they're like, listen, if you want to do something good, you've got to do this first. If you want to be in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Well, seeing as like Disney controls everything, like, he probably had to do this to get any doors open to him.
Yeah.
So
who among us hasn't had to do a mildly humiliating job to get ahead?
Yeah, exactly. He's just paying his dues, and hopefully after this we'll see him do more stuff like Man from U.N.C.L.E. Because like you said, very watered down in this, and it just didn't make sense for the Lone Ranger character, especially like with an origin story. There's no character arc really. It's more the Tonto story. And Tonto is just so horrific. Like, you could barely watch him.
Well, okay, so here you go. What did you like about this movie?
The horse. Now,
The horse was fantastic.
the horse was fantastic. Like, as you're probably aware, Simone, and maybe our listeners don't know this, but I hate horses a lot. Like, cannot stand them. I think all horses should be made into glue or food.
Oh my
They
god.
should not be used for anything else.
Whoa.
Yeah. I have very strong feelings about horses. And so it means a lot that I'm saying that the horse was one of the best things in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, like, I enjoyed the horse. I enjoyed Helen Bottom Carter. I enjoyed, like, the little kid who old Tonto was telling the story to. He was kind of adorable, but it was also like a really weird vehicle to tell the story through.
It was completely pointless.
Yeah, it was literally the vehicle, and it was like the most pointless thing ever. I think Johnny Makeup's makeup was good.
I liked the taxidermied crow. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. What else?
Sad, the origin story.
Oh, that was heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the bad guy?
Very scary. Well acted. Good bad guy. I didn't really understand that they were trying to like introduce like some sort of mystical element to it, where they were like, oh, he's a Wendigo. And nature is out of balance. That was weird. And ultimately came to nothing.
Yeah.
But you're right, you know, the makeup was good.
I mean, let's
scenery, gorgeous.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think they filmed on site? Because it must have been hot.
You know what? I bet they did. A little anecdote. My
Yes.
one moment in the sun as an extra in a commercial, because in Cape Town, like, they're always filming commercials and stuff. So I was like, I'll make some easy money. I'll work as an extra. It was for some French biscuit company, but it was like a period thing. So all ladies had to wear these thick dresses, you know, like down to your wrists, up to your neck. And the day of filming, it was 32 degrees.
Oh no. Oh.
Celsius.
No, unacceptable. That's
it was
so hot.
So hot, and we were in these thick ass dresses. Like, it was to the point where, like, as the costume people were zipping me in, they were apologizing.
Oh.
All the makeup that they'd put on me just sweated off. Half the people on the shoot were just running back and forth getting ice water for everybody.
That's crazy.
So I hope for the actors' sake that, like, it wasn't in the full desert heat that they were filming.
Yeah, because can you imagine? That's going to be awful.
Hell on earth. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize enough. I'm pretty sure they must have burned the dress I was wearing afterwards, because it
Just
was
the sweat.
damp.
That's so tough. That is really, really tough. Like, you know, extras really don't get the recognition they deserve because they're the people who, like, stand for hours in the uncomfortable dresses for like 5 minutes of scene and then have to wait again for hours and hours and then go back and oh no, it's exhausting.
For an ad they probably won't use.
Yeah, exactly. For pretty
to be fair,
shitty
it
pay.
is actually a really sweet deal if you've got time to kill or like you like to read, because you just like sit around, and if it's not too hot, like, you're just sitting around in costume reading, and you have to get free food.
Yeah,
so, like,
exactly.
And then you get paid for it. Like, it's actually a pretty sweet gig if you've got the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. If you've got the time. I remember when I first came to the UK and I wanted to be an actor, I was an extra on a Bollywood film. And, like, the amount of curry we got over, like, 2 days was just amazing. And, like, proper, like, Indian curry was so good.
Oh my God, luxury.
That was the dream. But the bad guy in this one, Butch Cassidy, or whatever his name is, not Butch Cassidy, Butch whatever.
I don't think it was Butch Cassidy. Butch Cavendish.
Butch Cavendish, there you go. He was in a film that we have recently done. Do you recognize him from that film? I will tell you, it was within the last 3 weeks that we did this film.
Oh my God, because I know his face. He's got the cheekbones, and he. What movies did we even do?
I'll give you the week.
Okay.
It was Christian Bale week.
Christian Bale week. He was in Equilibrium. He was one of
Good.
the police cleric people.
No, he was the guy who was like the leader of the Feely people.
Ah, damn it.
But you were close, like you still got Equilibrium, so that's ace.
You had to help me like 95% of the way, so.
And to be fair, in this film, like dude had makeup and everything. Like his lip, his busted lip was crazy
That was
scary.
great. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I will
guess,
say the makeup and costumes and sets and
Mhm.
stuff on this movie were beautiful.
Mhm.
Like visually it was like a super, super fun movie. The fight
Mhm.
choreography was really good.
Really good, yeah.
It was just like the script and storyline and the casting that made it hard to keep watching.
Do you think on set it was uncomfortable with all the actual Native Americans and then Johnny Depp doing his thing of being like really stereotypically racist?
I'm pretty sure it didn't matter because Johnny Depp was probably drunk on about 5 bottles of wine at any given point.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, he probably did not give a shit about the actual
I don't
Native
think he
Americans.
remembers making it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That guy is a mess.
Did you hear about all the extra stuff that came out about Amber Heard, though?
No, what happened?
We can like cut this out or whatever. It's just an aside.
Uh-huh.
But no, a bunch of tapes and stuff and messages were released. Basically, like she was actually the one abusing him.
Oh my god.
And like, yeah, it's all these messages of her being like, yeah, I did this makeup so it looks like you hit me and no one will believe you. And
Holy
like,
shit.
yeah, her threatening like to hit him all the time, or him being like, look, like please just like maybe we can work this out, just stop hitting me. And she's like, no one will believe you, blah blah blah. Like it's really batshit crazy.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
That's Amber Heard. No, we love her.
No, we can't like her anymore.
Oh,
Like they're literally recasting Mira in Aquaman and stuff because like,
of this.
because she's so fucking crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sad that we're not allowed to like.
We can
her
still
anymore.
dislike Johnny Depp because I think he's generally unlikable, but he's
Yeah.
not a woman beater. He's actually a victim.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. We can definitely still hate on him, but yeah, not. Yeah. But damn, I feel for him. I really do.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, what can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do? So tell me, what's your scene that could have saved it?
God, I think they could have cut out about 50% of the scenes in this movie.
Making it a decently long film, not this
Yeah, like
ridiculousness.
I don't think they needed the whole B plot with his brother's wife running around. Didn't really need her there at all. Like they don't even get together at the end. They kiss, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go off and be the Lone Ranger," and she's like,
Yeah.
"Fair enough, I'll wait around." And you're like, well, "What was the point of the 2.5 hours of setup?"
It's so true, and it's so frustrating. I mean, literally the longest film in the world just for them not to hook up and that be the central story. I don't understand.
Yeah, it was like just take that out. Like just make it
Mhm.
so that he feels for Tonto for 2 fucking seconds and decides to help him.
Yeah.
And then, recast Tonto.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is the biggest sort of scene that could have saved it of all time is, don't recast Tonto. I mean, it goes back to like that early like joke from I think it was like last year where Scarlett Johansson was gonna play
Oh, she was
Rosa
in Ghost in a
Parks.
Shell.
Yeah, she was in Ghost in a Shell, but then there was like all the jokes about her being like Rosa Parks in the Rosa Parks story. And I mean, I wouldn't put it past Hollywood after this nonsense that's just happened with this fucking film.
Wasn't there was like it got leaked somewhere that like ages ago, like 10, 20 years ago, there were talks to have like Julia Roberts play Harriet Tubman.
Oh no. Just don't. Why?
And like they ended up not going through with it for like some really arb reason.
Oh, Oh, this,
Can you imagine?
it would have killed her career, like without a doubt. That would
Yeah.
have destroyed her career.
Or even sadder, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, yeah. Either reality is not a reality you want to live in. So thank
No.
goodness it didn't go through, because that's awful. That is awful.
In my heart, I'd like to believe that they pitched it to Julia Roberts, and she's like, but no.
You know I'm white, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know that. You're aware of
Like,
this.
I'm very white.
I've been in all 3 Oceans films. That's how white I am. So my scene that could have saved it would have been a much stronger arc for our boy John Reacher, or whatever his fucking John Reed, the Lone Ranger,
Yeah.
because like I get that he's like a man of the law and he's reluctant to do bad things, but then there should be a progression instead of just sort of like, oh, I want to be a man of the law. I want to be a man of the law. And then in the last 5 seconds, he's like, nah, actually, I won't.
Fuck it.
Yeah. It would have made more sense if, like, he saw his brother die and then he was like, okay, this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
There was no justice. And then sort of, actually, like in that scene where, in Point Break, where he like goes to shoot him but then shoots the air, like something like that.
Yeah.
That could have worked. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, that would have been honestly an improvement, because like that dude just ended up being a wet blanket for like 90% of the film.
Exactly. Even when he killed the only 2 people that he killed in this film, like it was through like an accident with the bullet. So
Oh my god.
I mean,
yeah.
that scene was really fun. Like, I enjoyed that barn scene.
Sure.
But shit, outrageous. Yeah. Well, would you watch it again?
No.
No, absolutely not.
As you know,
2.5
I'm not
hours.
a huge fan of westerns.
Yeah.
And this was particularly hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, westerns are traditionally long, but this just felt really long.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. Completely give this one a skip. If y'all haven't seen it out there, don't watch it. It's not worth your time, really.
No. Yeah.
Watch the original one with an actual Native American person as Tonto.
Or just support Native American actors in general where you can.
Yeah, exactly. So shall we talk about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For?
A dame to fucking kill for. Let's go.
I wish we had like some sexy jazz music under this and then we were both smoking.
Oh, so I could just cough the whole time. Okay, I'm gonna try and get this all together. Okay. So basically, this movie follows 3 different storylines. The first one is called hang on. I'm not doing great.
Hey, it's fine. Look, you are the person who was able to do a 12-story storyline with with what was it that you did? Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I know you can do this. You've got this.
Okay. So the first one is called The Long Bad Night. It stars Johnny, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Johnny is like this cool new dude in Sin City. He shows up at the bar where Nancy dances, meets a nice sex worker named... Fucking God. There are so many people. Doesn't matter, really.
Doesn't matter, no. Like, the names don't matter.
Basically,
you know who they are.
Yeah, he's got supernaturally good luck. He wins a couple of the slot machines on the side and buys himself entrance into the private poker room at the back, where he decides to start playing against Senator Rourke and his constituents. Senator Rourke, played by Powers Booth. Because of his magical gambling powers, he beats Senator Rourke soundly and wins a fuck ton of money. He's advised to get the hell out of town while he still can, but instead he decides he's going to party on the town. He eventually gets tracked down by Senator Rourke, who tells him in no uncertain terms that he does not like that this guy won, and he intends to destroy him. So he breaks all of the fingers on Johnny's left hand. and he shoots him in the leg. He also tells Johnny that he does know that Johnny is one of his illegitimate children, and he does not care. Johnny is understandably very upset. He then tracks down a doctor, Dr. Kronig, played by Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher
Kronig
Lloyd.
is Christopher Lloyd, or AKA Doc Brown. He is very drunk, but he sets Johnny's fingers and sends him on his way. Johnny also runs into a very kind waitress played by Lady Gaga, who gives him a bit of money. He uses this money to start winning back all the money he lost, and he shows up to the second night of poker. He then faces Senator Rourke again, and he says, yeah, I beat you again. I beat you forever. All of your friends are going to say that they won't tell anyone, but they're going to talk about it, and everybody's going to know. And then he gets shot in the forehead, and that is the end of that scene. Okay. The next story that we follow is A Dame to Kill For, which is kind of a prequel to the first Sin City. It follows Dwight, who is in the Sin City movie, but played by someone different. So this is before Dwight's face changed. And now he's played by Josh Brolin. One night, Dwight is contacted by an ex-girlfriend, Ava Lord, played by Eva Green. She tells him that she misses him. She just wants him back, and she tells him not to forget her, and basically implies that something horrible is going to happen to her. He tells her to get lost, but then sort of repents, comes back. They have so much sex.
Oh, so much sex.
In various lighting. And she tells him that her bodyguard / prisoner or prison handler, Manute, played by Dennis Haysbert, is actually like a master of torture, and he tortures her every night at the instruction of her husband, and it's horrible. So naturally, Dwight enlists the help of Marv, played by Mickey Rourke, to attack Manute and kill the husband. They do that. And then it turns out that Ava was just using Dwight because he's a big dumb dummy who will believe anything from women that he has sex with.
Amen to that, brother.
She's like, this is amazing because now I have my husband's entire fortune. It's great. She shoots Dwight a bunch. He manages to survive, and he's helped by the sex workers in, what's it called? Uptown.
Old Town.
Old Town. The sex workers of Old Town, including the beautiful Rosario Dawson.
Hell yeah.
He decides that he's going to get revenge on Ava, and he gets help from a bunch of the other sex workers. There's a huge fight. It turns out that Manute actually maybe wants to help, but no, he also thinks that she's some sort of goddess. They fight. He kills Ava. End scene. The final storyline is Nancy's Last Dance. We follow Nancy, who you met played by Jessica Alba, who you met in the first movie. She was the one who was saved by Detective Josh Hartigan, played by Bruce Willis. Hartigan is now a ghost that watches Nancy and basically affects nothing at all besides being really sad.
It's Bruce
Nancy
Willis.
is bitter and full of rage, but can't just get the courage to shoot Senator Rourke, even though he plays poker in the bar she dances in every Saturday night. Eventually, she kind of loses her mind, cuts up her face, and convinces Marv, again played by Mickey Rourke, to help her go after Senator Rourke. It's this whole self-destructive warpath, but eventually she gets there. She shoots Senator Rourke, rendering the storyline with Johnny completely pointless. And she says, "This is for Hartigan, you motherfucker," and the end.
Oh, well, look, well done. And what is your scene that could have saved this?
You mean my cliffhanger?
Oh, sorry, yes, I meant your cliffhanger. I don't know where my brain was there.
It's gonna be this one, and it's gotta be the speech that Joseph Gordon-Levitt gives at the end, where he's like, "Oh,
yeah.
I beat you, and everybody will know, blah, blah, blah," and then he immediately gets shot.
Yeah.
And again, I love it because, it's immediately rendered pointless by the following scene where Senator Rourke gets killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was kind of poignant on its own because it's this is the guy who took down took the senator down a peg and maybe like ruined his reputation. It's like a slow burn thing. Like maybe it erodes at his power base or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the dude gets shot.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point of him coming and doing that is that people will talk and he will like assumedly lose his power and all that shit. But then it's just like, nah, we'll just end it right here. So your death was for nothing, essentially. Yeah.
And like that, I think that was the problem with this movie in general, was that like the first movie worked because it was a lot of different storylines, but they all sort of came together in the end into like one huge, very satisfying ending. Whereas here, it's three very different storylines that don't super come together at all.
Like they don't really make sense.
And actually contradict each other.
Yeah, exactly. Like 100%. Like I remember thinking when I was watching this, like halfway through, I was just thinking, when is Jordan Lovett gonna come back? Whatever his name is, I can never remember his name. I'm so bad at his name. Lovett man. When is he coming back again? Because his story was so brief in the beginning, and then he like got his hands broken, and then it was like, no, we're not gonna see him. Let's just have Mickey Rourke do some stuff for like the next hour, and then we'll go back to him. Like. Yeah, there was just no tie-in. It wasn't clever, and I think it was just what made the first one really good, in my opinion, and I don't know how you feel about it. What made it really good was obviously the stories tying in together, plus the cool theme of like the black and white and the use of color. This one seemed to think that the reason that the first one was successful was the black and white and the color, and so it just completely scrapped the story for that motif.
Yeah. And in all fairness, there were some shots from this that were really beautiful.
Yes.
Like really gorgeous cinematography, really interesting shots. I'm not going to take that away from them.
No.
And it's the same directors. I mean, it's Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller, like two very accomplished directors and artists.
Absolutely. But they're not writers, and they should have realized that the writers had completely botched this one.
Yeah, they picked a bunch of storylines that didn't add up. Okay, here we go. So obviously it's based on like noir detective themes, which traditionally aren't very kind about women.
No.
You're a bunch of sex organs. Even the first Sin City movie arguably was not that great about women.
No.
But at least like there, like Nancy had like a lot of heart for a dancer, you know, like she was actually quite a tough person who faced a lot. And like even like some of the other sex workers and stuff, like they were really cool. Like there were some really solid female characters in there. And then in this one, I guess the theme was just like, women want you to kill people for them.
It's I think they took the name. They were just like, all right, what's the name of this? Okay, so we'll have to fit the entire theme into this really dumb name that we've got, plus we'll have to include the name in the actual film, which again super shoehorned in, and it made me really happy.
They said the name of the movie.
it was like in which was the Bond film that they forced it in as well that we watched for this podcast?
To a Kill.
Oh yeah, What a View to a Kill. And it felt like the same thing here. It was like, oh, she's such a dame to die for or to kill for. And it was like, fucking, okay, this is what we're doing. Fine. Oh, it was, like,
It, like all of the women in this are like really mean and manipulative, and it paints like, oh, these poor men just like being manipulated by these women. And it's like, but all of the protagonists in this are objectively horrible people. Like Dwight kills people without thinking about it. So does Marv.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Both of them are horrible mass murderers who don't give a shit about people. Marv just beats up a bunch of frat boys because they're assholes at the beginning. But like, God forbid that Ava Green uses her sexuality to accomplish something.
Yeah,
or that
exactly.
She's like, yeah, you're a big dum-dum because I slept with you and then you believed everything I said, even though you know that I'm evil. Like, But she's the bad guy.
But she's the bad guy. Yeah, exactly. Like the movie was trying to prove something, and it was trying to prove like, oh, you know who it's really tough for right now? White men. It's so hard to be
exactly.
white men right now.
And then like Nancy's going through a time with alcoholism. And,
Yeah,
like,
shit.
really struggling with her mental health, but it's all about how hard it is for Hardigan's ghost.
Yes. Yes. Holy shit.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
No, it is very upsetting, especially because like if you want to spin it, you can almost say that, you know, the women in noir detective themed things are like these very powerful women, and that's why sort of the men are scared of them, they're intimidated, but that's a whole other thing with
sexuality.
But the women in themselves have a lot of power. Here it was just like, that one's a bitch, that one's an alcoholic, and that one sucks. Like there was nothing to them.
Vaginas are magic.
Yeah, and vaginas are, look, Simone, and this is a PSA for everyone. Vaginas are magic.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, fine. Maybe the adjectival way of saying it would be better. Vaginas are magical.
If you say so. As the owner of one, I can't see the appeal, but sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the amazing thing about sexuality. It's a microcosm of madness, which is the name of our shared novel that we're writing.
Microcosm of Madness. That sounds like a really fun video game.
It actually would. I can imagine it would be, actually. That would be pretty cool. I could be about that. So what did you actually like about it, though?
I loved Ava Green in this. I thought she was spectacular. Her character was just so great. Like when she's talking to the cop.
Yes.
This poor fucking cop. Like,
oh, he gets a rough deal.
You're supposed to think that she's really evil and manipulative, but like the men in this are so dumb.
Yeah,
they're like
exactly.
the biggest dum-dums.
Like, dude is investigating her, and it's just like, oh, well, we slept together, so I have to believe her, and I'm completely in love.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder you're gonna take advantage. Anyone would.
She's like actively talking to him about her supposed sexual assault, and he's like, now's the time to have sex with her. She's okay with it. Like,
it's ridiculous.
My guy. How dumb are you?
Just don't do it, guy. Just stop. You're a police officer.
And she is just like, she's so stunningly gorgeous. She is so cool. Like, I really liked her the whole time.
Yeah, she was awesome. Like, it should have been a movie more about her than about, like, how much of a shit she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, we're not, like, celebrating the fact that she murdered her husband. But it's just really lame the way they, like, depicted her as, like, this evil human.
Oh, and all these poor men.
Yeah. Men
so
can't
sad
control
that she
themselves.
lied.
Yeah. Men just can't control themselves. It's the woman's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking hell.
And they even Rosario Dawson's character, Gail, he's such a badass in the first movie.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like a fun sidekick now. She's like, no, don't hurt Dwight. I quite like him. And it's like, okay. I mean, her whole thing is like pain, so I'm sure she'd let them get like a little bit in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But no, we're just going to reduce her to nothing because she's a woman and this is not a woman's film.
Yeah.
Outrageous. I did enjoy the music.
Yes.
I always love a bit of jazz in films like this. They're always good fun. And like you said right in the beginning, like the shots are incredible. Like the use of color and the use of black and white is just it's just fun to watch.
Beautiful.
You know, it may not win any awards for being like spectacular like, cinematography of the Kings, but it's still just so fun to watch and just enjoy that visual element of the changing colors and what they choose to colorize and what they choose to keep black and white, and it's just great. Yeah. So what's your scene that could have saved this if there was a single scene?
I guess I would have liked something sort of trying to tie some of these plot lines together, or like explain why all three of them were supposed to be in the same movie, like just to build up to a satisfying conclusion. I understand the three of them were in the same movie because like it was a To Kill for. but like it just like by the end you're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what was the point of that sitting through that hour and a half for
Yeah,
nothing?
exactly. And I just sort of like something to make it all more cohesive, to make like, if
Mhm.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's gonna die, he was a pretty likable character actually.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just wish that his death had maybe had a bit more meaning, but it had no meaning at all.
Hmm.
Like it it could have been better.
Yeah, like it just needed to be a bit slicker and like have
Just
taken,
tighten it up.
yeah, taken some of the lessons learned from the
Mhm.
first one and just like apply them to this, because this technically could have been really good. The three stories intrinsically are very interesting, but their conclusions are hogwash, and they just need
Yeah.
to be, like you said, tightened up. I completely agree, and I think that would be my scene as well that would have saved it, just because like there's no individual scene that would have made this any better. Like there's nothing you can say
No.
about any one of the stories. Yeah, maybe make it like a female syndicate ring of like underground cool, sort of like Hell's Kitchen, like where Eva Green's
Yeah,
character and Jessica
exactly.
Alba's character are like in it
Yeah,
together. That
girl
would have been kind of
power.
fun. Yeah, that could be fun. So would you watch it again?
No, this is the second time I've watched it, and that was plenty.
Yeah.
Look, I think if you enjoyed the first movie, like you could still get some enjoyment out of this one.
Hmm.
Um uh, but you only need to watch it once.
Yeah, you really do. I think the problem with it, like, and I think this is what takes it away, is just like the lines make no sense. They're so
Yeah.
noir that they don't actually
Yeah.
fit anywhere. And so it's just boring. Where the first one, it kind
Yeah.
of makes sense. There's like lots more to it.
Yeah, it's
So yeah,
it's a bit much in this movie.
yeah,
Like somehow in the
exactly.
first Sin City, all like the silly like melodrama of
Yeah,
noir detective was like kind of fun.
yeah,
And in this one, you're just like, Jesus.
yeah, 100%. I think it would actually, do you know what would be really fun is watching Sin City, the original, again,
Hmm.
and watching what's his name? The Spirit?
Ugh, God.
How dare you? The Spirit
It
is a
was a
great
terrible
film.
movie.
Oh, you are a horrible person. This is why dames have such bad reps.
Ah, dames.
You're such a dame with your legs up to your waist.
Your legs down to the floor.
And eyes that looked out from her face. Well, thank you for this week, Simone. It's been real weird, but I'm so glad
Yeah.
that these movies were on your hard drive. Like, what magical times.
Goodness.
So, with all things permitting, for
Yeah.
for next week, shall we do what we said we were going to do and
Yeah,
do the
we'll do
horror
our
movies?
proper horror movie week. Yes. Just
Okay.
to remind people what those movies are.
Yes, so we will be doing The Prodigy, which got 43%, and Countdown, which got 23%. And yeah, it will be fun to go back to horror and actually do it this week. It'll be good fun. All things permitting, of course.
Okay. Well, all things permitting.
All things permitting. So, do you have an optimistic thing that's happened for this week, Simone?
Yes. So I was in a bit of a funk earlier this month and
Mhm.
sort of pulled Rudy down with me.
Yeah.
And then this weekend we looked around us and we were like, oh my God, our whole house is disgusting. Like we've just been living in filth.
Right.
So we got our shit together yesterday and like it didn't even take long. We just spent like a couple of hours just cleaning up and wiping surfaces, and I
Mhm.
feel like a new woman. Like our house is so
Amazing.
clean, it's so fresh, it's so comfortable.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That's great. And I
So
mean,
just a nice clean living space.
it's quite strange how much of a difference that actually makes, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't think about it until you've actually cleaned it and you're like, holy shit, I feel amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like strolling through the house like, wow, there's so much space. I'm not
Oh, that's
sneezing
great.
all the time.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. And are you feeling a bit more positive, a bit more
Oh yeah, I'm
in
fine.
a good
I'm very
headspace?
zen about the situation right now. It's just
Mhm.
I've got to wait it out. Baking a lot.
Good. Baking. I saw a really good meme the other day. It was just like, or maybe you told me about it. I can't remember. You might have mentioned it. Where it was just like, our generation is so bad at just keeping it about wanting to just like look inwards and sort of help themselves and do some self-care, that they're just like, the moment they get to do nothing, they're just like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna learn to bake everything.
It's true though. There was like that one weekend where somehow everybody was making banana bread.
Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, it goes back to what we've said on this podcast, where we have to be listening to something at all times because we cannot let the demons in.
I cannot let the thoughts in. That's like the one thing I've splurged on with like my limited internet, is like, I'm still listening to podcasts because I can't deal with the silence.
No, the silence is worse than anything. You can't let it in. You can't do it. It's the void. You just got to avoid it. Oh, Jesus. So I think you know what my optimistic thing of the week is.
Yes.
Simone, I finished exams. I am done. I'm almost 100% certain that I've passed, which means that I have got my graduate diploma in law, which means that I'm about halfway to becoming a lawyer. So, you know what? Steps up. I'm happy. It's been great. I'm so happy that I finished my exams. Don't have to study like a crazy person anymore, and we can just enjoy life for what it is.
And you have worked so hard. Like, you've been working so hard consistently for like the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, it'll be nice to take a bit of a break. Like,
deserved.
Yeah, the next course that I have to take, the earliest I can do is September next year. So I've got like a decent time to just like chill and be human, you know.
Nice.
So that'll be nice.
When I can buy alcohol again, shall we do a little party live stream?
Yeah, let's do a party live stream. That'll be
play
so
some drinking
fun.
games. We can hang out. We can do some movie trivia.
We can do the Roxanne thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can find a law-based movie that's awful. I mean, they all are.
I really hate law procedurals. No offense.
No, I completely understand. For someone who doesn't like I can see why it would put people off. It can be hella boring. I
distinctly remember I used to read a lot of books about serial killers because I was a creepy child, and I found one that was like kind of good, except like the first half was like like murdered a bunch of women and got caught, and then the second half was all like, anyway, these are the court proceedings, and this was very interesting because they couldn't claim this, but they did claim on this, and I was like, oh.
They've completely missed the mark of why people listen and read. The moment
they get caught, I'm like, okay, I'm bored now.
I don't know how we're best friends. It doesn't make sense.
I can only apologize for being like the least educated.
Oh, please. I mean, you're the smart one out of us. That's without question.
I think we can stop pretending.
We'll leave it up to our listeners. Listeners, write into us. Tell us, who do you think is the smartest? Me.
It'll in no way incite a feud.
Yeah. Like, our egos are so fine, and our self-worth is completely fine, that any
great place.
Yeah, any question about anything about our intelligence or the way we look or the way we sound, it wouldn't send us into a spiral of depression. So really, don't worry about it. Just send in the meanest stuff you possibly can. It'll be fine.
Oh, God.
So tell the people, Simone, where can they send us all the meanest things they can?
Oh my God. You can talk to us on Facebook or Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast. You can send us mean tweets on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. You can email us privately mean things at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com. You can comment mean stuff on our YouTube channel, and you can hang out with us on the Robots Radio Discord.
Exactly. And guys, while you're being mean to us, if you want to leave us a review once you feel guilty about saying horrible things and making us cry, you can leave us a review and give us a rating and leave a comment, because it really does help us up the algorithms. And even though you might not like some aspect of our personality, it really does help us reach people who would appreciate who we are and what we do. And even though you may be so mean to us, as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Goodbye.
Bye.